Sometimes I wake up. Hey everyone! Hey! Very excited for today's video. I've really been on my reading vlog grind. Happy Lewis Hamilton Day. As you know, I am, like all of us, always in search of our next 5-star book. This time I decided that I'm going to read your guys' 5-star books. I asked on my Instagram, which is at sunnykimchannel, so you can go follow me on there. I literally milk as many book recommendations out of you guys as I can on there. So I put the question sticker up asking for your guys' 5-star reads, specifically the 5-star reads that you gatekeep. That is very, very different from just a 5-star read. We gatekeep here. One thing about me is that I love gatekeeping. Friends and I all agreed that out of Gaslight, Gatekeep, Girl Boss, I am in fact gatekeep. And what about it, babe? I was seeing a lot of the Caraval trilogy and the Once Upon a Broken Heart series. They're all by Stephanie Garber. They all take place in the same world. And I read the first book to both of those series a really long time ago. Suddenly there's like such a big hype train for like the sequel. And so you know that I have the biggest, fattest FOMO you'll ever see in your life. I think the second book to Caraval is Legendary. I'm pretty sure that Once Upon a Broken Heart technically should be read after reading the Caraval series. And I read Caraval maybe 2 years ago. I might have to do a little bit of homework. What I do remember is liking the vibes of the world. Like it's very, I remember it was giving me a cross between like Charlie and the Chocolate Factory and like Alice in Wonderland. I feel like if you made the love child of those two things, it would be the Caraval world. Okay, my camera stopped recording, so I think that means that it's time to start reading. So I'm gonna start reading Legendary and then I'll give you guys updates, of course. Smells about time for me to go into Pinterest and find nameless male models decide on a face for every single character in this book. Okay guys, I'm a quarter of the way through Legendary now. I'm actually so dumb. When I read Once Upon a Broken Heart, I didn't know that it was like from the Caraval world. So I didn't know that like there's like character crossovers. And we just met Jax. I think that he is the main character from Once Upon a Broken Heart, right? I'm like kind of obsessed with Jax. I would have enjoyed Once Upon a Broken Heart so much more if I read the series first. As I'm sitting here, this is an elephant. Isn't this so cute? I didn't know that this is gonna be like what Legendary was, otherwise I would have actually read it after I read Caraval. If you don't know what the series is about, so these two sisters, Scarlett and Tella, they're both trying to like flee their like abusive father. There's something called Caraval, which is, it's like this wonderlandy like, oh remember that it's like all just a game kind of thing. You don't know what's true, what's not true. You don't know who is like real and who's just an actor and giving Westworld, you know? Anyway, Scarlett goes and joins Caraval, and if you win Caraval, you get something. I forget what it was. She's just looking for a sister, right? So many twists and turns, and the whole thing is that no one knows who Legend is. Legend is the man who's like behind Caraval. I literally can't tell in my head if he's like a 60-year-old man or if he's supposed to be someone who's like also their age. My least favorite part of Caraval was our main character, Scarlett. She was just kind of boring to me. This book is in Tella's point of view, the sister. There's like a second Caraval game that she's playing in. And so if I knew that, then I would have read it. Scarlett and Julian, like the couple from the first book, I think that it was like a fun ride in the first book, but like they kind of got together at the end and I was like, okay, I'm done now. You're done. But in this one, it's a whole different character, a whole new different story kind of, and she has her own little romance thing going on, which I'm not like that big into the romance. They had like a one-night stand and it's like not my favorite trope. I think that the best thing that this book has going for it is the world. Definitely the plot, like the mystery of it. It's like Gossip Girl, you know what I mean? Like this, I hope it's not like Gossip Girl actually, because what was that? Who is Legend? Like it better deliver. I feel like the worst thing that could happen is that it's like so anticlimactic. You know what I mean? She's trying to find out Legend's real name. Like that's her whole mission. This better be the best plot twist of all time. Otherwise, I'm gonna throw this out that window. I'm around halfway through now. I have to say that this book isn't, you know what? I honestly think that the real reason why this book is like not grabbing my attention is because I can't put a face on Dante, the like love interest in this book. Yeah, if I knew he was gonna be this important of a character, I would have like chosen like a face. So now I need to go searching for one. I'm literally in the waiting room of a Zoom meeting right now. I'm so scared that I start the meeting and then everyone's gonna see me vlogging. This just makes me want to read Once Upon a Broken Heart. Now I like know the tea with Jack.
She's so lonely.
Oh, what the hell? How many plot twists can she pack into one book? What? Okay, Okay, so I finished Caraval, not Caraval, Legendary. Sad to say that it ended up being like a 3-star. I'm so sorry. Because everyone says that like the sequels to this series is like 5 stars. It always comes down to the same thing, which is that I didn't care about the characters. Like I think the series is very much a plot driven instead of like a character driven series. For me, I realized like a good plot just like isn't enough. It just doesn't cut it for me anymore. It never did. It's not even that like the characters were like unlikable. Like I'm chill with the characters. I mean, none of them like really pass the vibe check for me. Like, but I didn't really have a problem. I think that Tella as our like narrator was definitely more interesting than Scarlet, because in the first book she kind of comes off as like an anti-hero, and then only in this book do you figure out like her motivation. Everyone else was kind of like very two-dimensional for me, and that includes Dante, who's like the love interest. Like I didn't love the couple in this book either. Or remember how I said that like plot twist of like who Legend is better be like best thing on the entire planet? I was like a little bit not really like disappointed, but I wasn't like impressed. Like I didn't really guess it, mainly because I wasn't really trying to really like blow my mind. Like did this blow people's mind? I don't know if I can like read. What even is the last book about? I think I need to read another book. I haven't decided. Okay, I saw one of the replies to my 5-star sticker was Bloodmarked, and I have the book. So maybe I'll do that next. Again, another sequel to I'm gonna grab her. So here it is. Here's the love of my life. What's his name again? If you guys haven't read the first book to this, go read it right now. Gorgeous POC main character. Love triangle. Actually like both of the boys in the love triangle. I obviously have a favorite because I have a type. So just look at him, period. Oh my gosh, she's a thick boy too. I'm gonna get started on reading her. I have sock curls. Here, I'm gonna take them out though. Oh, it's midnight. Midnight. I'm now just over halfway. I genuinely think that I would be enjoying this book way better if I remembered more about what happened in the first book, because a lot of like the magic system in this world, there's just a lot of like names and like positions and like hierarchies and like systems that you need to remember. Pages, squires, and regents and lieges, and all these names that I don't really know what they mean. I've just been like faking it till I make it, I guess. And it's making it hard to follow along with like what the plot is. And there's a lot of characters. Maybe like they were significant in the first book and I should remember them, but I don't really. Recently we got a little crumb of the one couple that I like. Because of that, I'm like, okay, maybe we can still read it. I don't know, this was kind of a fight, this half of this book. Plot right now is just a lot of like, it's like a very political, which is I think common for like second book. You know, like second book slump. I just feel like with these kind of things, with like urban fantasies and there's like a new magic system and stuff, like the first book is always the most fun because that's when you're like, get like the character discovering the world for the first time. Everything's like new and exciting. Didn't it all seem new and exciting? Maybe I'll just try to read this until I fall asleep. I'll update you guys tomorrow morning. I might look at the sticker again to see what other books I could read. Oh my god, I'm on 12% battery. It's literally the morning. I feel like sequels aren't the vibe. Like maybe I should, I was a little bit too ambitious. Maybe I should do just like the first book in a series. Oh, so many people say Once Upon a Broken Heart. Do you have to read finale to read that book? Because I really don't feel like reading finale. Okay, I for some reason had like face softening mode on, which is a catfish. So I turned that off. Upon a Broken Heart, Once Upon a Broken Heart. Am I in a reading slump? Someone said Dance of Thieves. I have a memory of like reading this book and liking the couple right until they got together, as per usual. Maybe I'll do a reread because maybe that will solve my issues. I don't know if I have it. You know, so many of you guys ask me where I pirate my books from. I don't pirate books, but if I did, I would not be able to say it because I don't want the feds after me. But actually, one of my friends, when I showed her this textbook pirating thing, she used it so many times that she actually got blocked by the feds. Whenever she tried to go on the website, it would be government, like a federal government like blocked. So after that, I just can't chance it. Now we wait. Yes! Guys, my sock curls. Not bad at all. Should I do this for grad? I think this book series actually is supposed to take place in the same... I'm not sure if that's true. Does it take place in the same world as the Kiss of Deception series? I don't think you have to have read the Kiss of Deception series because I don't think that I did when I first read this book. Because I was mostly in it for the couple. I just know that it's like a romance between, I think, one of the queen soldiers and then like the patriarch of this crime family. So they both get sisters snatched up by some other, I don't know. And then they get handcuffed together and then they had to escape together. And then they're like trying to survive. And I was just eating that up. I think the girl's name is Kazi. The guy's name is Jace. A reformed thief and the young leader of an outlaw dynasty lock wits in a battle that may cost them their lives and their hearts. Period. Just realizing now that I might have just spoiled myself a little bit for the ending of the Remnant Chronicles, but it's okay. Period. Okay. Are we confused about Kazi's race or something? What is this mixed bag? See, when I say fantasy enemies to lovers, this is what I'm talking about. Mary E. Pearson, I'm literally your biggest fan. I hated that I actually found him likable. I shouldn't have liked him at all, period. And I hated the other things I noticed about him too. Little things that caught my attention. I like the way his hair fell over his eyes. I like the way your hair falls in your face. I love each freckle on your face. The 4 small freckles on his arm, that would make a J if a line connected them. Now this is everything. Yoo-hoo, big summer blowout. Well, I'm 41% of the way through Dance of Thieves. I was gonna wait until 50% to give an update, but like the train was not chugging. I can tell you exactly so clearly the first time I read this book when I stopped. Right at the 30% mark is when Jace and Kazi finally like leave their little Columbia Trek era, their little enemies to lovers era. And that was definitely when I lost interest in them. Let me tell you, the first 30% of this book on its own, like them just like literally chained together, like the progression of the relationship from like enemies to like showing like small bits of like kindness and then like eventually having like a little ting going on. It's literally so perfect. Like I feel like the first 30% of this book, that literally could have been the first book all by itself if it was like just drawn out a little. Like I wish it was longer, but it was not even like half of the book. That was just like literally just the beginning stages to set for like the rest of this, which is like other political stuff that I'm like not that interested in. Like the first 30% of like the journey was so good. Like that in itself was like 5 stars. I feel like I was really obsessed. I love that the emotional intimacy was like established before any type of like physical attraction was even brought up by the author. You know what I mean? I'm pretty sure there was a line in here that said like, it wasn't until like Jace, I am literally obsessed with this man. Yes, I'll do the cooking. Yes, I'll do the cleaning. It wasn't until like she saw that he was like very kind. She has like this fear of like open space, and so when she couldn't fall asleep at night, he asked her to like tell him a riddle, and he kept asking her until she fell asleep. And then the next day, in her point of view, she's like, I know that he did that to like help me fall asleep. Oh, I hate that because I'm supposed to hate him. And it is just so good. Like that was so good. And it isn't until he is a disgusting man and proves himself where she's like, he has like nice colored eyes, and like it's not that I didn't notice his eye color earlier, but it wasn't important until now. I'm literally period, as you should. Man needs to prove himself before he gets any of your attention. Like I just love when physical attraction is not brought up at all, especially in a first encounter. Like in a first encounter between characters, if it's like immediately like, oh my gosh, like my heart started racing, it's a no for me. Obviously I lost interest the first time after they kind of already got together. I was like, boring, thank you, next. But because I've committed to finishing this book, I've kept going. It definitely doesn't have the spark like it did earlier because I love the chase. The one thing about me is that I love the chase. It's still good. Like the tension is still, it's still there. And I actually really like Kazi or Kazi. Kamikaze, Anyway, you don't know that much about her backstory other than the fact that she was a thief who was recruited by the queen, but we don't really know much about like her family life, like why she has all these fears and anxieties. Bits and pieces we're getting to like uncover a little bit of that, but I don't know why it's taking me so long to get through this. I was hoping to be done, but I've just been distracted. I have been distracted by the television. I decided that now would be a perfect time to rewatch Maid. I also started watching Shameless and I'm in love. Shameless stans, please come find this video and come find me. Okay, hello everyone. I thought that I would give one last update about Dance of Thieves before I potentially just finish it and then end this video. I'm actually caring about the plot. I don't know why. Okay, also, I'm about to get ready because, what time is it? Today's my graduation, like convocation, so that's why I have to get ready. So I'm excited to do that because I love getting ready more than I love going out anywhere. Why is it taking me forever to read this book? I don't know what kind of vibe I've been on, but like, I've really been on like a one like and I'll rewatch watch Euphoria. Like, I don't know why I have like just been on this vibe like that. Like, I've been distracted. But I'm determined to finish it today. Now it's actually getting kind of interesting because a lot of things are being like revealed. They just had like a big confrontation scene. I don't know, I think right now, just like the part after the 30% mark, I would give it like a 3-star. But because of like the first 30% of the book, it was like my dream book. Literally just because of that, like I literally think about it a lot. I feel because of that, it might bump into a 4-star. I don't know, I highly doubt it. But can we just talk about how in love I am with the main guy character, Jace? I just love how nice he is. It's so easy, guys. The female gaze, the way that he's like a gentleman and like remembers little things about her. He remembers that she loves oranges. She goes to her room and there's a bowl of oranges. He's like good with children, like okay, I'm gonna get ready. I'm gonna watch Shameless. Finally back home. It's like 11 p.m. I have to drive 3 hours, go to school just for convocation and then come back. I did end up finishing the last book of this vlog, Dance of Thieves, on the way there. Technically I'm done this vlog, but I'm really tired. I'm gonna go shower. So maybe I will actually round out this vlog, talk about all the books that I read. Probably do that tomorrow. Okay, so I'm actually editing this vlog now and never ended up closing it out. So here I am to close it out. I read 3 books in this vlog. I didn't have 1, but like, anyway, I first read Legendary, the sequel to Caraval. I gave that a 3 stars. Everyone hyped it up saying that it was so good. I think that I enjoyed it the same amount as the first one, actually. They're just like very similar. So I'm not inclined to pick up the last one, but can someone tell me if I have to read the entire series in order to read of the Once Upon a Broken Heart series? And then I read most of Bloodmarked by Tracy Dion. Still plan on finishing that book. I don't know why it wasn't. Am I in a reading slump? The Nile is a river in Egypt. And then the last one, Dance of Thieves, I rated that a 4-star because yes, the first beginning of the book, the 30% that I keep talking about, I would reread. I have reread that book just to read that part and then just stop. But aside from that, that was this video. I unfortunately didn't find my own 5-star book, but it was a good attempt, I think. Anyway, that's the end for this video. Thanks so much for watching. Let me know if you want me to do another one of these videos because there's so many books on those responses that I haven't read. And let me know what your most recent 5-star read was. Put it in the comments, please. Okay, bye!